After a short hiatus, we are back. Yes, we are. Good to be back. Harp on Sports, the bar, here on the Harp on Sports podcasting and the Harp on Sports Media Network. I took about, 10 days off and needed to. Why? Because I had to finish the bar and been busy moving. Been really busy moving. Thanks for everybody and their patience. Got three great topics for you to discuss today. Really quick, just a little bit of a tidbit. Wanted to share something with you. We set up this bar a little bit different than the last one. Obviously, I have more room here in Gainesville than I had in Jacksonville. And you can see the neon lights in the background. There we go. As I get my parameters down. This is one of these things that's kind of cool. You can't see it over my shoulder. Back here in the corner, my Harp Indiana license plate. Every state that I've broadcast in, that I've lived in and broadcast in, you can see above me. Michigan, Nebraska, Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, Harp, and I just need a Florida license plate for down here. I'm not going to take it off my car, though, because, I don't want to drive around without a license plate. But nonetheless, welcome into this edition of The Bar here on the Harp on Sports Audio and Media Network. Got a little baseball buffoonery for you, a little college football cattle call, and the match 3. Got a great idea for the third match. I think it'd be great for TV. Now I think we're going to get sports back before this could get set up. But nonetheless, have a great idea for the third golf match. We're going to start off with a little baseball buffoonery, though, as now baseball finds itself in a little bit of a mess. What do? Baseball trying to take advantage of this situation to get the players to take a significant pay cut. Almost like the American tax structure, where the wealthier get taxed more, depending on the tier that you are in. Smaller percentages taken out. If you are making the league minimum, what are you going to lose? 10%, only playing a half a season. If you are a guy like Mike Trout, talking about 60 to 70% of a pay cut. Don't know why we just can't go, okay, how many ever games you missed, we're going to prorate this thing the best that we can. But baseball finds itself in a little bit of a mess now, doesn't it? Because they've turned this into a financial situation. They've asked him to take a pay cut. Baseball needed him to take a pay cut. Players don't want to take a pay cut. And, oh, boy. Now, what sport needs its fans the least? Football. What sport needs its fans the most? It's a great question. It's a great question. Baseball, because they're regional contracts more so than anything else. There's a national contract with Fox, but baseball needs its fans the most. Baseball needs its fans to turn out. So they know they're not going to get that, so they're trying to sever the how shall we say this, the marionette strings of its players to save some money, to the point that we may not have a baseball season. How ugly is this? Seriously, how ugly is this? So what do? Well, what you try to do here is you try to get the owners and the players into a room and say, knock it out and figure it out. Will they figure it out? Maybe. You talk about a death blow. If they can't figure this one out, if they can't get this taken care of, you talk about an ugly situation across the board. So it's not as simple to sit there and say, well, these players need to take a gigantic pay cut. Sure, they do. Sure, they do. Take a little bit of a pay cut. Not a gigantic pay cut, but do they need to take a little bit of one? You bet they do. But it's not an opportunity for owners to gouge players. And I just sit here and I look at this and say to myself, wow, you're going to try to take advantage of this situation if you're an owner? You're billionaires. You're billionaires. You've got, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 20, 30 years to make up your money as best that you can. If you are the players, you have a finite amount of time, but also baseball's agency, your money's guaranteed. Watch baseball, how not to do this. How not to get back into action here. Scott writing in, he goes like, hey, most league sports, not possible at all without fans. Need money, need revenue, and most leagues, he's right. Football's the one that you don't, because their television contracts are guaranteed, and the television contracts cover the salary players now. Next year, they'll be able, with the money in the TV network alone in football, though this is just football, will be able to cover the salary. So they need to find a way to get fans back in there. I get this. It's a mess. It's a mess. Minor league sports. My bad. Yeah, he's right. Scott's right. 100% right. So what do you do here? Well, you guys got to figure this out. And whatever happens, owners, if you can get them to take a 30% pay cut, you do it. I know what they did. They aimed high, and they're going to get somewhere in the middle. I know what they're doing. But all you're going to do is you're going to irate your players. The union is just ugly. And, you know, I'm one of these guys that plays or tries to play devil's advocate with things. You don't like my plan? Fine. What's yours? Don't like my plan? What's yours? Show me your plan. And your plan better not be your gut. Your plan better be something smart. Your plan better be something that makes sense, because we're going to lose half of our gates this year. What's your plan? And here's a chance for baseball to expand their postseason. Here's a chance for baseball to really, really figure some things out here. Because the longer the postseason, the more interesting things are. Who's got the longest postseason? The NBA, the NHL? I think we all agree, right? The Stanley Cup Finals are the best playoffs in sports. Some may say March Madness, and March Madness is great, but professionally, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best. Most exciting. They just are. Every single game can go as long as possible. Now, baseball, if we're smart, they'd figure this out and go, you know what? Here's a chance for us to expand some things. Maybe do some 5-game series, maybe do some 7-game series, maybe expand this thing out a little bit. You're going to have to meet in the middle on this one. And getting Mike Trout, and I use Mike Trout as the example because he makes the most money. Ask him to take a $19 million pay cut. He's earned all this. He's got the strongest union in sports. Your money's all guaranteed. Billionaires fighting with millionaires, and yeah, billionaires make more money. I get it. But they're going to take that money out of somebody. Who do you take it out of? Do you take it out of? Can't take it out of the fans. They're not going to be there. So that's an ugly situation. And baseball's had labor peace longer than any other sport. Isn't that hard to believe when you think about it? Baseball has had labor peace longer than any professional sport. That was just so bizarre, because in the 80s and 90s, baseball had a mess on their hands. In the 80s, nobody had it worse than the NFL. And then hockey had a little bit of a mess in the early 2000s. And, basketball seemingly, every 4 or 5 years runs into a mess themselves. But baseball's had this figured out longer than anybody else. And people still hold the strike, still hold it against them from a quarter century ago. I never went back to baseball because of the strike. Well, 5 years before that, the NFL played with replacement players. You had no problem bouncing back from that one. So, again, baseball bliss, no. Baseball buffoonery, yeah, more like it. The players are going to have to take a cut. The owners aren't going to be able to gouge them for half. Meet in the middle, 75%. Baseball's union is monstrous. It's monstrous. All the money guaranteed, every single player, every single contract. That's why baseball struggles. So if you're a team and you whiff on a contract, you're hosed unless you're one of the Power 5, Power 6. But the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, but even the Red Sox are trying to cut money left and right. Now, the way to do this, if you really wanted to, is you could bust the unions up, have a massive, massive strike and a massive lockout. But that can't happen. Not at this point, not at this time. So the owners are looking around. There's a chance for them to save some money. The players don't want to spend it. Fine, you get into a stalemate. Here's a chance for you to actually figure things out as a sport and try things that you haven't tried before. Have the DH in both leagues. Get that done. This whole thing about pitchers hitting anymore, come on. It used to be cute and it used to be neat. It's not anymore. Watching a National League manager make a double switch in the 9th inning. It's like, oh, it's strategy. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't give me Edgar Martinez and David Ortiz. Yeah, I don't want those guys. I'd much rather watch the 6th best outfielder you have on the team come in a pinch hitting role in the 7th inning for the second baseman. Yeah. Oh, boy, I can't wait for that. When I go to sports, I go to watch the 14th and 15th best player on each team. That's where I go. So get that figured out. All right, college football cattle call. We're going to have fans in the stands. We are. Now, what fans in the stands? Great question. Nobody will have the cojones to do it. I know what the smart thing to do is. Nobody will do it, though. If you have a major university, smart thing to do, and I'm talking about major university in terms of attendance. Ohio State's still the biggest school in the country. Attendance-wise, 60,000 students, 60,000 undergrad. Florida's a monster. Like when a Gator hat. Florida's a monster. Certain schools are really, really small. Notre Dame couldn't do this. School's not big enough. Not attendance-wise. What Notre Dame has, what's Notre Dame undergrad? 7,000, 8,000? Duke's too small. Duke's power, but you get where I'm going. Northwestern's too small. Big schools, big campuses. Big Ten schools are all monstrous. The SEC, ACC schools, depending on where they are. The majority of your fans in the stands for college football should be the students. They get sick the least. They're going to be the rowdiest and noisiest. You're going to have a socially distanced stadium this year. You're going to have socially distanced stadiums across the country. What are you going to do? You're going to trot out rich alums drinking their cocktails, being quiet? Now, they spend the money. I get it. They're going to want to go. I get it. But the smart schools are going to be the ones that are going to have to socially distance. One fan, only 30,000 seats. Ohio State's talking about that, right? Only 30,000 fans, could go up to 40. 70% of those should be students. Can't make that much money. The biggest home field advantage you're going to have in a quiet stadium like that is the one that has the most students. The problem is you can't trust them. Can't trust them to come early. Can't trust them to stay late. It wasn't that long ago. At least I don't think it was long ago, although it was 20 years ago that I was a college student. Yeah, a game was bad, bail. Sometimes you got there a little late. Most of the time you got there a little late. Most of the time you left a little early, like Dodger fans in baseball. But you want to create a home field advantage? The way you do it, students. Majority of the fans in the stands. They can socially distance, or they don't have to socially distance from one another. They're the healthiest. They're the least likely to get the virus. You can put more in there. That's exactly what I would do. If I were a major college athletic director, sit there and say, okay, the CDC recommends this. We can socially distance the stadium. Can we have 40,000 fans if 25,000 are students? That way we can seat them every other seat. That's what I would do. Because let's face it, this is going to be the year that you want a monstrous road schedule, because a true home field advantage or a home court advantage isn't going to exist. I don't even know what basketball is going to look like at this point, but football, you bet. The smart thing to do is to pump as many students in there as possible. Like I said, they're not reliable, though. They're not reliable as a steady source of fandom. Game gets out of hand, you get down 17 points in the third quarter, they may look around and go, I'm gone. It's happened my first year here, covering the Florida Gators when I lived in Jacksonville. The Tennessee game, they were down what? Florida's down 13 points in the fourth quarter. Fans were gone. Students left. They bailed. There had a couple guys in the parking lot. Hey, where'd you go? Yeah, we left early. You did you? Missed a pretty exciting finish. Missed a pretty good finish there. And that's the situation that you find yourself in now. What do you do? What type of fans do you let in the stands? Rich alums? Going to sit in the box? You want to create a home field advantage? Home field advantages are created by the loudest, craziest groups of individuals. And those tend to be under the age of 30. Tend to be. Not in all cases. Philadelphia, they're probably older. But in college football territory, it's the wise thing to do. So we'll see what happens there. A little college football cattle call. The only way to create even a seemingly, somewhat home field advantage, majority of your fans need to be students in your stadiums this year. And finally, wanted to wrap up with the match numero tres. I liked it. I liked Tiger and, Tom Brady and Peyton and Phil. I liked it, but I got a great one. I got a great one for the third one. Should we get the third one? Should we have a third one? What I would love to see. And you can pick two big studs. For the purpose of this, I'm going to pick Jordan Spieth and I'm going to pick Brooks Koepka. Jordan Spieth and Brooks Koepka. And I'm going to partner Jordan Spieth and Brooks Koepka with each other. Two professional golfers against Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. Barkley and Jordan on one team, Spieth and Koepka on another. And I am going to give Jordan and Barkley a 25-shot lead. Go get them. Now, we'll do best ball, kind of like a scramble. I know best ball, scramble a little bit different. Both players hit. Whoever's got the best shot, you go from there. For Barkley and Jordan, the pros, they have to hit each other's shot. So if Koepka tees off, then Spieth's got to hit his shot after that. After Spieth hits, then they just alternate shots, regardless of what's going on. But Jordan and Barkley, they both get to hit. They get to pick the best ball and go from there. They get a 25-shot lead over 18. How long will they hold that lead? How long will they hold that lead? I've had that debate before or discussion before with some buddies where, okay, you get to pick 4 friends. And we did this when the Warriors were really good, which was just only a year ago, right? But when the Warriors were really good, what do you do in the case of, or how long could you hold off the Warriors, you and 4 of your buddies? How many of a point lead would you need with a minute to go to beat the Golden State Warriors at their best? Or look at the Lakers this year. How many, you get to pick 4 of your buddies. How many point lead would you need against Anthony Davis and LeBron to win with a minute to go? How many points would you need as a lead? I would say 25, because they're going to score every time they get the ball. Every time they bring the ball down the court, they're going to score. It's a question if they're going to dunk it on you, or it's a question they're going to hit a 3. And they can sit out there and bomb away 3s because you're not going to get any rebounds. You and your buddies aren't going to get any rebounds against Anthony Davis. So they're going to score every single time. The question is, can you get the ball to half court? And if you do get the ball to half court, can you get a shot off? How quickly can you get a shot off? Or if they're just fouling you every time, can you go to the free throw line and make free throws? That's the NBA question. But back to the golf thing. Jordan, Barkley, best ball. Barkley, Jordan both hit. Okay, whoever hit the best shots and they both hit from there. 25-shot lead, 18 holes. Go get them. Is that enough? 30-shot lead over 18 holes? Barkley and Jordan versus Koepka and Spieth. Spieth and Koepka alternate. Jordan and Barkley do best ball. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. It'd be great. Like, oh, can they hold off? Oh, they're up 17 with 9 to go. Oh, can they hold them? Oh, they're up 9 with 6 to go. Can they hold them? Oh, can they hold them? It'd be absolutely hilarious. It would be, because the pros would be out there firing darts. And if the pros shot in there, what? If they're hitting each other's balls, they're going to shoot what? Mid, upper 60, 66? What are Barkley and Jordan going to shoot? I think that would be absolutely hilarious. That's my idea for the match 3. Barkley and Jordan with a 25-shot lead against Koepka and Spieth. Koepka and Spieth alternate. Barkley and Jordan play each other's ball or play best ball throughout the course. So there we go. Fun stuff. Again, Seth Harp here on the bar, the Harp on Sports podcast and audio network. You can see the bar. She's done now. Not too shabby. Not too shabby, right? I do have to get another neon light. I wish I could flip it. Maybe one of these days I'll do it from the other angle. We'll shoot it from that angle back here, but this side's so much cooler. So much cooler. And again, got all sorts of fun stuff up here. You can't see it on this side. Maybe I'll move it. My Harp license plate's back here in the corner. From Indiana. Every state that I've lived in across the top and broadcast in. So a little bit different. In case you're wondering what those license plates are up there, every one of those has been on one of my vehicles. So pretty cool stuff. But enjoying my time here in Gainesville. It's hard to believe I've been here. Well, I've been working here almost 2 months. When's my show going to launch on the air? That's a great question. As soon as the students get back. Because I am doing a lot of, everybody else's job in the building right now because we don't have enough people because everybody's socially distant. Essential workers only. Here's one thing that's fascinating. I haven't done it since 18 years. The last show I produced was Ryan McGuire in the Morning in Kalamazoo, 2003. 2003 is the last time I produced a radio show. I'm producing 2 now because everybody's socially distant and we don't have the bodies. I'm producing 2 shows in one day now. I'm doing something I haven't done since I was 24 years old. 41 now. Yeah. But you know what? Practice what you preach, right, baby? And that's what we're doing. Again, Harp on Sports, the bar. Going to get back to the Wednesday weekend cycle. Going to try to get to 3 in a week coming up here as the summer progresses. Follow us. Harp on Sports Twitter, Harp on Sports Instagram, the Harp on Sports Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Harp on Sports YouTube channel, harponsports.com. Follow, like, share, follow, like. I can't thank you guys enough. I appreciate everything. I guess I wish I could read some of your comments on Facebook. Actually, hold on. Let me scroll over here really quick. Maybe, possibly, perhaps. Well, it looks hard. Harder to do than I thought. Good gracious, Seth. There you go. Some of Scott's comments as I scroll back here. Our fouls unlimited. Oh, in the basketball contest. Our fouls unlimited. No, it's standard game. Standard game. No fouls unlimited. I know you try to foul the other player every single time down the court, but you're 5-on-5. Good for you. Keeps you humble. Yeah, a little bit. I do like. I John Daly added to Jordan and Barkley. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? John Daly added the Barkley and Jordan team. I just think that would be a lot of fun. I do. I think that would be great. I think that'd be fun. But anyway, all right. If you missed any of the show, I'm going to load it up. It's going to be here, of course, on Facebook Live, Twitter as well. We'll pin it. Harp on Sports Podcast. You can get it on iTunes, Spotify. Buzzsprout is the hosting side of it. So we post, follow, share, like, follow, like, subscribe, all of it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. This has been The Bar on the Harp on Sports Audio and Media Network.